Alright, so today I am shooting my birthday video. I am talking about what it's like to feel grown because I am turning 25 this year. And being 25 is not what I expected. I had this idea that I needed to have my whole life figured out by the time I turned 25. It created a lot of unnecessary pressure and stress on me for this big day. But what I'm realizing now is that my mindset changing at 25 is the most important and most valuable thing that has happened to me. The first real significant change that I've noticed from like early 20s to being 25 is establishing a really deep connection with God. I felt like I had a lot of things that were missing in my life that I couldn't find solutions for in my day-to-day or with my relationships with other people. I'm already a naturally very anxious person and worry a lot about things that I have no control over. And so whenever I get into that mindset and I find myself stressing, being able to just develop a relationship with this higher being that I take so much comfort in knowing is actually guiding me through all these steps and opening my eyes and doors for me has been incredible and helped me level up so much in the past year especially. Another big difference is my style has changed so much. So I definitely wear things now that early 20s me would be cringing. It's just been so different. I stopped following fast fashion, I stopped following trends and decided to like really, I don't know, dress in a way that felt like I was getting into character for the person that I want to be, which is trustworthy, is dependable, is mature, able to just handle life. And so I started to put myself together in that way and also just bring in like more quirky pieces that I think for me was a big risk. I have much more confidence now that I'm turning 25 to wear all of these amazing things that I wouldn't have had the confidence or even like the taste to try on a few years ago. Honestly, my style now is more closely resembling the one of my mother's. But you know, that's okay because we're almost the same size, so I'm always going through her closet and trying to pick out some cute pieces. I find myself way less dependent on other people for things like validation, for example. So that used to be very external to me. And so I was always out of control of how I felt because I was placing that on other people and hoping that they would mirror back to me the things that I was looking for in myself. But as soon as I stopped doing that and really focusing on my own growth and my own life, I found that I felt way more in control of who I was and where I was going. I go out so much less than I used to. I used to be quite the party animal and going out multiple times a week, not even waiting for the weekend. And it honestly was so draining of my time, my money, my energy. I did not find that it was really a fulfilling way for me to spend my time. So now I'm way more selective with who I spend my time with and where I'm going. And I am okay with that fear of missing out. Like, I have conquered that fear. I will always be where I'm supposed to be, also connecting with God, understanding that God will always place me in the right situation if I just let Him dictate where my life is supposed to be going. So I don't really feel that pressure anymore to like be at the right place in the right moment at the right time to get the perfect selfie. That mindset has totally evaporated and has led to me like actually being able to enjoy the moment rather than always thinking about what's happening next. Now at 25, I have lived through enough bullshit to absolutely avoid red flags at all costs. I used to be the kind of person that even if I consciously knew that someone was displaying red flags, I would still go for it. I was still so like interested in people that were broken. I understand everyone is at a different place in their journeys. And like I still have so much love and compassion for everyone. But to be honest, when I see red flags now, I am not at all curious to like find out that person's life story, where they came from, why they are the way they are, because I know that ultimately like that if that energy is manifesting itself to me as toxic, I know it's going to affect me and that person will most likely influence my life in a negative way far more than I would be able to outreach and give positive energy to that person. That transfer of energy is not equal. And so I learned that through multiple mistakes. And so when I see red flags, I am very comfortable just
you know, grabbing my bag and getting out of there.
It's not worth our time anymore, ladies. It's not. That actually led me to realizing that healthy habits are actually attainable. I am learning this now after years of struggling with my diet, struggling with my alcohol intake, with habitual cigarette use. And all of these things were really affecting my body, my skin, the way I felt. All these things that I thought that I had no power to change, suddenly I overcame that obstacle by changing my mindset and realizing that I have the full power and potential inside of me to make any change that I want to make in my life. And the only thing that's stopping me is myself. And so as soon as I realized that, I was able to overcome a lot of things like disordered eating. I had really bad binging habits that were making me depressed and hurting my self-esteem. And I was finally able to cap that. I think with maturity, with growth, with just realizing my person and who I am, come to the table with full control of my faculties. And I'm truly blessed to be that. I know that's not the case for everyone, but I am so grateful for this privilege to have the chance to be strong. And so I'm going to step into that role, especially at 25 now that I don't feel like a little girl anymore. I am so ready to just accomplish everything that God has put me on earth to achieve. A big difference that I've noticed at 25 is a shift in what keeps me up late at night. So I used to be the person that my racing thoughts at night when I was just laying in bed, with my eyes wide open, going over and over and over things. From, I want to say 18 to 24, the things that would keep me up late at night were usually very self-interested thoughts that had to do with my insecurities or things that happen in my daily life or things that happen to the people in my life. Those to me are small thoughts, and now I think way more big picture. And so what actually keeps me up late at night now is less and less about me. So my self-interestedness that I think is very normal as we're developing our style, our egos, our sense of self-worth. As we're developing these things in our 20s, it makes sense that we spend most of our time thinking about ourselves. But that self-interestedness has fallen away, and it has revealed a deep concern for humanity. And that to me is so telling of how strong I am now and how much I've overcome, because I'm now at a place where I have really the capacity to think large thoughts, big picture thinking about the world, and it is so not about me anymore. And honestly, that puts me in a position to be in a much better mindset to help others. And that to me is my greatest mission right now at 25, is to just really put myself out there and try to create a real change in the world. I'm really excited about the next step from here. I have finally grown into the mindset that I should have had this whole time. But I think I needed going through my ups and downs in life to really learn the lessons that I now treasure and will be using for the rest of my life to make the biggest impact that I can on a social level and also in a personal way.
That's it. Bitch. That's the queen bee. That's why it's so big.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Queen bee.
Cute. So one of my favorite things to do when I am in Florida for summer is go thrift shopping and do pretty much all of my school clothes shopping, my winter coat shopping, anything that I need for New York. I will actually get pretty much all of it in Florida. It's so much less expensive to get my clothes here, and I am really big on sustainability initiatives and making sure that my clothes are not contributing to a demand for fast fashion, which pollutes the environment. It is my birthday weekend and I am with my mom. We are on our way to Goodwill right now, and yes, we're both strong advocates that less is more.
Como tú, que hacen videos y dicen si le gustó dale la manita para arriba al final de su plática, y también te dan consejos hay de todo, pero he visto varios de minimalism, porque yo estoy en ese proceso. Vivir con menos, todo lo que necesitamos es menos.
Yes. Okay, so we're here. the full of the Florida sun and the Florida heat. ¿Sí te gusta?
Sí, está diferente.
Sí, a mí también.
¡Feliz cumpleaños a ti!
Gracias.